we perform or oversee the majority of doping controls being performed in sport. We are absolutely the number one with annually approximately 30,000 doping controls. FIFA introduced doping controls at the 1966 World Cup. That was for the very first time. And throughout the years, the procedure has been developed. Having experienced more than 20 years with being responsible for the doping controls within the framework of football, we have put the emphasis on education. Education as a word to link to prevention. The main message is that we need the support of the players, the doctors, and also the fans to keep doping out of the football game.
Before the match, the Doping Control Officer, or DCO, and her assistant prepare the doping control room, ensuring that it's in perfect condition for the procedure that will later take place. An hour ahead of kick-off, the first task for the DCO or her assistant is to request that the representatives of both teams correctly fill out the list of prescribed medications that their players have been taking. This list is then returned to the DCO before the game starts.
So I'm just checking the list of medications here, and all looks good.
The next task is at half-time, when both team representatives take part in the draw for the 4 players who will be tested after the game. The number of each token represents the number of a player on the team sheet. The numbered tokens are sealed in envelopes and signed by the doping control officer and the team representatives. This is to prove that the tests, whether based on analysis of a player's urine or blood sample, are random. After 75 minutes, the team representatives return to the doping control room for the opening of the envelopes and the selection of the 4 players.
Monica to do a draw. And that one from Japan, number 1. Number 1 is number 21.
It is then the duty of the 4 team chaperones to wait for the selected players. After the final whistle, they guide them to the doping control waiting room. Visiting the team dressing rooms or anywhere else is not allowed. For urine testing, the players are given water to drink, and when they are ready to give their sample, they enter the doping control room. According to the FIFA anti-doping regulations, the player can handle the samples herself, or she can ask the DCO to do so. The player is accompanied to the bathroom by the DCO or the assistant. After pulling her shorts down to her knees and her shirt up to her bra, the player urinates into the beaker under the supervision of the DCO or the assistant. At all times, the DCO or the assistant must have an unobstructed view of the urine leaving the player's body. The minimum amount of urine required is 90 ml.
So I'll get you to go here with Monica.
The sample is divided into bottle A and bottle B.
So we have, if you turn it around, so it has 110.
The urine sample needs to be a certain concentration. If it is too diluted, then more volume is needed to find all the substances being tested for.
We say 10-10.
The bottles and boxes are then sealed and put into plastic cases for air travel. Throughout the whole procedure, the player and the team representative have to be present. Both are required to check the forms thoroughly and sign them. That way, if there is an adverse analytical finding, the player cannot say the process was not done properly. In some cases, a player produces less than 90 ml, and this is called a partial sample.
It's certainly a partial sample.
This partial sample is sealed in a cover and saved until additional urine can be produced. The player has to stay in the doping control waiting room. For legal reasons and to protect the player's privacy, the bottles and boxes are marked with an identical number. As soon as the player has produced more urine, the first sample is opened again and then mixed with a second sample, and the test is completed in the correct way. Only the doping control officer keeps the names of the players that refer to the samples. The anonymous samples are couriered to a laboratory where the testing procedure is completed. The results are then sent to FIFA.
Good night. Safe drive.